Hello and welcome to the Breathe India show. His name is Dhananjay Date. Lots of people play golf. You play like a young man, he said. When did you start golf?
I started golf in 1992. I graduated at a place called St. Stephen's College in Delhi. So the famous Shashi Tharoor, he was 2 years my senior in college.
So have you had injuries?
I was playing tennis at the Wellington Club and suddenly I felt as if my partner, instead of hitting the ball, had hit me. I had ruptured my Achilles tendon. What do I do to avoid injury? Nothing really. So when you have the money, then you find that body is not really coping. Golf is the only game you can play alone because you're playing against the course that you're on. I tell you, I'm impressed with your questions are, like laser guided bombs. They're absolutely precise.
Hello and welcome to the Breathe India show. I'm Rita Date, your host. I'm a nutritionist, yoga and meditation coach, and I've authored 2 books on healthy eating the Indian way. At the Breathe India show, we concentrate on 3 aspects of health, M&M, mind, nutrition, and movement. If you want to cut through the wellness clutter and get practical information, all backed by scientific research, you've come to the right space. So welcome everybody. And today I have to thank my husband who has suggested this excellent guest today. So my husband is down with a back injury. He's, not moving from the home, can't go out much. And his biggest heartbreak is that he can't get on the golf course. And his friend called him the other day. His name is Dhananjay Date. Here we have Dhananjay, and asked how he is. And then Ranit went on and on about how Dhananjay plays on the golf course and how he's fit and he's playing every day. And lots of people play golf at different ages, but you play like a young man, he said. So I want to ask you the first major question. We will introduce you, but what's your secret?
Well, I think the secret is being happy. Being happy, being contented.
That's nice. So you're content with your golf game or everything in life, basically?
I'm basically a contented person.
Wow, that's very nice to hear. And not easy to get there.
I think it's a frame of mind, actually.
Okay.
If you don't covet something, I've never been jealous of anybody and been happy if somebody else has done well. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people feel that, my neighbor has this, I don't. I have never felt that.
That's
with
great.
The
So you never had that.
Whatever I have, I'm happy with.
You never had that keeping up with the Joneses.
Never.
Very nice. Very nice.
Never.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You started out with the insurance company here.
Well, I went to boarding school at the age of 5.
Oh.
So I was the only Marathi-speaking boy in that school. It was a school in Simla. I was there for 11 years, and then I graduated at a place called St. Stephen's College in Delhi. So the famous Shashi Tharoor, he was 2 years my senior in college. And while I was doing my master's, this tea company headquartered in Calcutta, they put up a small notice on the notice board saying that we're looking for assistant managers for the company's tea estates in South India in Munnar. All those interested can apply. I was in my final year of master's that time. And they put a small bit saying there'll be a bungalow,
Yeah, a lot of perks. Good.
Yeah. So you're just fresh out of college. I applied and I was lucky. I got selected. And I was the first chap in my batch to actually join. Because on the tea estates in those days, your seniority depended on the day you joined the company. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you an interesting anecdote. In the 1930s, 2 people came over from Britain to start their careers as tea planters. And the head clerk from the company was sent down from Munnar to Cochin. He welcomed them, they came. And about 7 years later, there was a vacancy for manager. Now the question was, which of the two was senior? Because they both joined the same day. So the head clerk was summoned and he was asked, what happened? So he said, when I went to receive them, Mr. John came first and said hello. So Mr. John was given seniority and he became the manager.
Okay, just because of the first shake hand.
So I started my career as a tea planter, and if you excuse the pun, I decided it was a nice life. Can you imagine a chap green behind the ears, in charge of 1,000 labor, bungalow, butler, so on and so forth. I mean, it's heady stuff. But that quickly sort of, I told you.
Got old.
Yeah. And I realized that planting is not my cup of tea. So I left. Before I joined the tea estates, actually I had been selected for the Indian Air Force. I went through the officer selection course in Dehradun. Then I was selected, sent for my medicals, and I received my appointment letter. Pilot officer, report to the Air Force Academy in Dindigul. But this was for an admin role. And I wrote to them and said, look, I'd like to be a fighter pilot. And they wrote back saying, you're 6 months overage as per the regulations to give what is called the PABT. So every pilot in the Air Force this PABT is basically a test to test your coordination. No, not physical. Your eye-hand coordination. Okay. So I didn't join the Air Force. And then I joined the tea estates, I left. And then, like most people, I stumbled into insurance. And I was posted to a small place called Sholapur, where I got married, and I think my wife has got the raw deal. I got the better deal. Anyway, and then I was transferred to Pune, I became a branch manager. So I was the first chap in my batch to become a branch manager. And then in '89, I was selected to go to London. So I was 7 years with New India in London. And then this company called the Swiss Reinsurance Company, which is really like the Rolls Royce of reinsurance, a 170-year-old company headquartered in Zurich. They were looking to start their operations in India. So they interviewed a lot of people. I was one of them. They thought I was the one for them. So I joined Swiss Re. So I was 3 years in Zurich, then 3 years in London. And because I joined them to start the India operations, a few things happened, none of which I had control over. So it was decided I would stay on in Switzerland, which was a big blessing for me. So 3 years I was in Zurich, and then I was transferred to Swiss Re in London. And after I'd done 3 years in London, Swiss Re rang me and said, look, you originally joined Swiss Re to head India. I said, but you've already got a Swiss chap who's running it. They said, no, we want to make a change. So that's how I landed up on the 1st of Jan, 2003. And then I worked for 12 years, at the end of which I thought, enough. So I actually took early retirement in Bombay.
Bombay, okay. And through this, what was your fitness journey like?
See, Rita, having gone to a boarding school where all games are compulsory, including boxing, swimming, it's compulsory, so you have to do it. Plus that fresh air in Simla, and I guess my own volition that, look, one must try and remain fit. So I've always done something or the other, and tried to ensure that I don't become like one big fat slug. So, and I think that's what's basically helped.
And when did you start golf?
I started golf in 1992.
Okay. And there you were in the UK then?
Then,
okay. And so what do you do to prevent injuries? I mean, I know we are facing that right now in the family. So have you had injuries? What do you do? Do you have rest days?
Good question. I was playing tennis at the Wellington Club in Bombay. And we were going for it hell for leather. Opponents won one set, we won the second set, third set. It was doubles, we were going for it. And suddenly, I felt as if my partner, instead of hitting the ball, had hit me because I went flying.
Oh.
And there was actually a sound. And I thought, he was miles away. So I said, he couldn't have hit me. I had ruptured my Achilles tendon in my right leg. So 6 months I was in plaster. It was terrible. A few years later, I was in the UK and my sister said, we're going to play badminton. I said, sure. So off we went to the badminton court, and lo and behold, I find I'm the youngest person on the court. I was that time 62 or something. I told you my sister is 11 years older than me. And the two players against us, one of them was older than my sister. And I lunged for the shuttle near the net, and lo and behold, my other Achilles went.
Oh, the other foot. Okay.
Yeah. So
these are the two injuries you had.
These are the two major injuries.
Okay. How?
What do I do to avoid injury? Nothing really.
Nothing.
No.
And what do you do for your fitness right now, in like to make sure that your body is ready for golf or wherever
Have you heard of this doctor called Dr. Sten Ekberg?
Sounds familiar.
He's a doctor.
Okay.
And he's also an athlete.
Okay.
And he says that if you do this high intensity impact training, but there's no impact actually, but I think it's called high intensity impact training. He says you do 15 seconds, then 15 seconds. Basically for the 15 seconds,
you bring up your heart rate.
Yourself. Yeah, you're increasing
it's a
your
hit.
heart rate.
Yeah.
Okay? And his theory is that generates growth hormones in the body, which keep on growing.
Okay.
So and he says that you don't need to do it every day. You do it once in 3 days. That's fine. He says those growth hormones, to grow, they take fat from the body. So I thought, let me give it a try, and it seems to be working.
That's great. So how long is this for duration?
It doesn't take more than 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
And
okay.
he says that ideally you should do it on a cycling machine.
Okay.
Because you're not pounding the road
Okay.
or your knees are not getting.
So you do 15 seconds of cycling, and then what? Like
again,
jumping?
Then 15 seconds.
Of rest?
Okay, sorry, I should have said. 15 seconds with let's say the strain on the bicycle.
Okay.
Or the cycling machine, raising the
Heart
strain.
rate. Yeah.
No. So you have these different grades, 2, 3,
Oh, right.
4, 5.
Yes, intensity. Yes,
Yeah,
you raise the intensity.
So you raise
Okay.
the intensity
Okay.
and go full blast 15 seconds. I do it for 20 seconds.
Okay.
Then after that, you reduce the intensity.
Okay.
20
okay.
seconds again. So then again 20 seconds, you go full
Okay.
pedal.
So you're on the bike all 7 minutes or whatever time
That's
you do.
right.
Okay. Okay. All
And
right.
just so that I don't do it from a starting position, for the first 3 minutes, I'll do 1.5 minutes of back pedaling, 1.5 minutes of pedaling. So the body is just sort of, I do a bit of freehand exercises, simple stuff like touching your toes and your arms. Just so the body warms up.
Any weights? No.
I'm not a physically strong guy. I've got a lot of stamina, but some guys, bulging muscle is really strong. I'm not strong, but I have a lot of stamina. So I was quite good at marathon in school.
Oh, you did marathons too, running. You did running. In school, it was compulsory. Even little kid. I mean, in school means how old were you?
From the juniors used to, from basically, I'll tell you, from 8 years old, you're running marathons.
Wow.
Every year. You had to.
Okay. I think that fitness in that young age, it makes a difference.
Rita, I told you I have 5 grandkids, and I tell both sets of parents that look, whatever physical capital these little kids build up now will last them throughout their life.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think, yeah.
And my wife, she used to do that as a matter of routine, that look, kids shouldn't be indoors all the time. In winters it's cold, it's dark. So the tendency is, let's remain in this warm, cozy place. No, we used to take them out. They would cycle, run, whatever kids do.
Oh,
play.
wonderful, yeah.
And we've seen that the kids are actually quite healthy. So I call it, building physical capital.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
financial capital, there's physical capital.
No, and it keeps you,
Yeah.
it's with you
And
your whole
I think
life.
if you've done that during your growing years, it just stays with you.
Yes.
And then actually the benefits, I feel, there's no scientific basis for it. But I just think that the physical capital built up then is what lasts right through life.
No, I think there's plenty of examples of that. Yeah. So tell us about your social life. I know that can have an impact on people's health, and being in golf, there's a lot of social life after the game, and then meeting for dinner later on. How do you handle the social life, and do you drink, and does that affect your game?
I have a drink. In fact, I have a drink every day. All my friends will tell you, a lot of people say that I'm an extrovert. I'm actually an introvert. And after golf, I don't want to meet any of these jokers. They're all my very good friends.
Yes, I understand.
I think a man needs some time for himself, just to let the air through your brain. You can't be with human beings all the time going quack, 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 quack. So very often, I actually don't go for any of these evening get-togethers and things. I'm just happy sitting at home, like an insect, just doing my own thing, spinning
Okay.
my own wheel. As this.
So you don't have a lot of late nights. You keep
No.
it. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We were in Dubai last week because this friend of ours, he retired after a very successful stint as CEO with Ferrero Rocher. So he said, we're going to Dubai to play
Rudy.
golf. Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went. And every day I was moaning to these guys that, listen, you're not letting me get my 8 hours, and I think it's a strategy of yours to try and neutralize me on the golf course next day. So
you have to just keep your priorities, and that sleep is very good. It's a good.
Shakespeare said, sleep is the healer of all wounds. It's true. You have a good night's sleep, and doesn't matter what happened
It's
the
so
previous
true.
evening.
Yeah. So, what advice? I think you already gave a little advice when you talked about your grandchildren. But what advice do you have for someone who's 30 and 40, who's playing the game and wants to continue to play through their life? Any suggestions?
See, sadly, golf, at least in India, is quite an expensive game. Okay. So when you're young and raring to go and things, unless you have a certain financial, capability, you can't afford to play golf. Okay. The number of places where one can play golf in India is also fairly restricted. By the time you have the money, you suddenly realize 50 years have gone by. Unless somebody like your husband, who's done so well, touch wood.
No, wait. He didn't. He played. I met him, and he was a golfer when he was in college.
Okay.
But then he didn't play for 25 years. Maybe once or twice. He didn't have the time. So
Fair enough,
same thing. Yeah.
So when you have the money, then you find that body is not really coping. So a lot of my friends keep telling me, how do you play 5 days a week? One day I played 10 days on the trot.
What does that mean for their?
10 consecutive days I played golf.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And twice I've actually played in the morning at Oxford, jumped into my car, driven down to Bombay, and played at the Bombay Presidency Golf Club in the afternoon.
Okay. So
So a lot of my friends think I'm a little crazy.
yeah, but physically, how do you do it? You're
I
just
told you I have a lot of
stamina.
not strength. And anyway, golf is a game. It doesn't really matter, how big built or muscular you are. It's like hockey. It's the technique of connecting the club with the ball. And if you connect the club with the ball well,
Okay.
it goes a long way.
What about you? But do you don't strengthen do you strengthen your core or it?
I'm such a lazy person. I couldn't do all that.
I wouldn't classify you as lazy. So
I've never been to the gym. And wild horses couldn't drag me to the gym.
you have a cycle at home. Your cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An old mangy cycle, but it does the work.
Yeah. So what's your diet like?
They say that as you grow older, you should be careful about what you eat and drink. I eat and drink everything. And I'm a little embarrassed to say sometimes immoderately. But God has been kind.
Yeah, I think, it doesn't show.
Luckily, I don't have any cholesterol or BP or diabetes or.
Yeah, I think the content part is the biggest factor.
It really is, because
So that's
apparently,
mind.
apparently stress
Yeah.
is a big contributor to people not being well, heart condition, blah blah. If you have no stress, you've already blocked the entry for all those.
Or manage stress. Everybody has some stress.
Actually, that's true. I think you hit a very important point. It's very important. Okay. I sometimes am called to give talks to these MBA students. Okay. Now they're bright young people and come from all over the country, and And I tell them, look, there will be times when suddenly you'll find the road gets steeper and the wind blows much stronger. Important thing is to stay the course and don't lose heart. That's important. Because if you go down the route that, I've got a terrible boss and I've got the crummiest job in the company and it's my karma and all. There's no karma. God helps those who help themselves. When I was sitting for my professional exams in the UK, I was married, I had children. I used to come home after changing 2 trains. So you're absolutely exhausted. I'd have dinner, no TV, little bit, go to sleep, get up at 4 in the morning and study. And that's how I cleared my professional exam. So basically it depends on each one of us as to how we address the situation under the circumstances that we are.
So you just tackle it when it comes, whatever comes.
Yeah. And don't lose heart.
Don't lose heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't give up. Henry Lawrence's motto,
Stamina.
never give in.
Your stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina. Okay. And but on the golf course, how do you stay calm and focused?
But you're asking a lot of people in golf, they get very disturbed. So let's say Ranjit is putting.
That's an example, yeah.
Yeah. And let's say you, me and Ashmi are in the 4 holes. And you are his partner. And I'm talking with Ashmi. I'm saying, in Tripura, did it rain? Ranjit is quiet. A lot of people get disturbed because there's so much. I'm the reverse. You can be laughing with Ranjit while I'm putting, it doesn't bother me. Now, this is again a blessing from God. Some people get pretty stroppy and they'll say, can you move out of my line? I don't care if you're in my line, you're chatting, you're laughing, it doesn't bother me. And I haven't seen too many golfers like that.
Is Ranjit like that?
Ranjit doesn't get stroppy.
Yeah, he is the kind of...
I've played a few times with him. No, I don't think...
Yeah, okay. Ranjit is my husband, by the way, in case... Yeah. Okay, that's nice to know that you're just calm and focused. I mean, you're also there. It relaxes you as well. I mean, golf is your passion and relaxes you. So
I think it's a great game. It's the only game you can play alone. If you think about it, for any ball game, you need a partner.
Right.
Table tennis, badminton, tennis, you just name it. Okay. Cricket, football, obviously. Golf is the only game you can play alone because you're playing against the course that you're playing.
Yeah, that's true. So what lessons have you learned from golf that you've taken to life or vice versa?
See, I started golf pretty late, so lessons from golf now. But what I can share with you is that when you play golf with somebody, you get a fairly good idea about that person's character.
Oh.
You said instead of saying how.
I mean,
because if I was
like a how.
I would say, how do you judge a person? How do you get a good judgment of a person's character while you're playing golf?
Because I know you're going to tell me, so.
See, golf is a game where if you cheat at golf, it's very easy to cheat at golf. Let me explain why. So 4 of us are in a 4 ball. I've hit my shot. it's gone and landed in the bushes. You hit your shot, it's bang on the fairway. He's hit a shot, you can see the ball. She's hit a shot, you can see the ball. None of you can see my
Your
ball.
ball, yes.
Now I go into the bushes and I find, oh, Rita's not looking, she's not looking, he's not looking. I move it. That's cheating. And trust me, the caddies, they know exactly who cheats and who doesn't. Now, what credibility do you have left when the caddies look at you or they tell other golfers, he moves the ball? Oh. So,
Yeah.
don't cheat in golf.
Everybody will come to know.
If you cheat in golf, trust me, I'm going to share something with you. I told you at Swiss Re we would insure the Indian insurance companies. Now, if you don't trust somebody's bona fides, don't get into bed with them. I mean, pardon the phrase. What I mean
Yes,
is don't do business with them.
Right.
Okay. And there are some companies in India we never did business with.
Okay, that's good. I mean, you had standards and you had, yeah.
I told you, Swiss Re is like the Rolls Royce of
Yes,
insurance.
yes.
So,
And
no, there was pressure on me. I said,
to do it, to
said,
get to work with them.
And somebody very senior to me said, how come we don't do business with them? So I said, look, if it was my money, I wouldn't do it. Conversation over.
Okay, that says it all. Don't cheat.
And by and large, golfers don't cheat. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you do get bad eggs.
Yeah,
And you know
there's all sorts of people. Donald Trump, I'm sure he cheats. Anyway, so so now through the years, I think technology's changed, and even in golf, there's been different newer golf clubs or balls or different things. How you adapted, and what do you think of it?
I tell you, I'm impressed with your questions are, like laser guided bombs. Absolutely precise. See, in fact, a lot of my friends, they keep telling me, change your clubs. You need to get new clubs. And I say, why? It's not going to make any difference to my game. And yes, now the latest clubs, like all innovations, if with an old hickory shaft you could hit the ball, let's say 100 yards. With these clubs, you can hit it 200 yards. Because the club face is bigger, the shaft is stronger or more supple or whatever goes into the golf club. So there are a lot of golfers who, go and get the latest clubs, etc. Now, there are also a lot of golfers who like to be seen with the latest clubs. So I've got a Ping 470 or whatever it is. I told you, it's never bothered me. My the set I play with is over 20 years old. And I'm delighted with it.
You're happy with your game?
Very happy.
Okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and they say, look at this driver. So my driver is equally good. I don't even have a driver.
I'm the driver and I'm better.
Talking about that even the sense of dress, I think is very, very important. People don't pay attention to being presentable nowadays. And for the bulk of my life, we didn't really have money. That's the honest truth. So I had to manage. So it's only recently that I haven't had any suits stitched, but every suit that I have, I would go buy the cloth, take it to a tailor, get it tailored. And I was always among the best dressed people. Not because my clothes were expensive.
But you put effort.
Dressing is all about the selection of colors. That's what it is.
Oh. So
very simple.
What colors did you choose in their suits? Now you're in blue. Very nice.
Blue and grey, you can never go wrong.
Right.
For men. So, you can never go wrong.
Yes. I do think that, how you dress matters.
And Again, if you're content,
If you're content.
you're going to be confident in how you dress.
Right.
I'm not going to say, oh, he's got an Armani suit. I couldn't care less if that Armani suit cost 200,000 rupees. My suit cost 20,000 bucks, and I think my suit is better than his.
So yeah, it's all a matter of that, same what we started with, being happy, being content. It's like it's from all aspects of your life that has helped you.
I don't go to any temple or church or anything. I think I've helped a lot of people, but again, that it has to come from within.
Right.
And I think that if I've helped people, I've done what God wants me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
do unto others as you would others do unto you.
Yeah, you're a good person. You've created good people, your kids, grandkids, etc., and you're content.
God is kind.
You bring light around you. Well, I think.
My friends may not agree with you.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about your swing, and this is especially because I want to ask.
Rita,
This is for
I have to
Ranjit.
really give you 100 out of 100. I don't know who's been. I told you all your questions are laser guided bombs. Okay. In golf, they say the most important thing is the swing.
Right.
Why? Because remember I told you it's all about
The ball
the
hitting
timing
yeah.
of getting your club to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Simple. And obviously I know how many studies have been done, and that you got to stand this way, your legs have to be this way, your head shouldn't move, and I mean it's a whole. In fact, there's one sort of a cartoon where, holy smoke, if anybody can sort of try and do the ideal swing looking at that, everybody knows the theory.
Right.
You mustn't move, you must not. All my friends, without exception, and they're all dear friends, they laugh at me. They've taken videos, they've sent it to other golfers, how a golf swing should not be.
What?
Seriously, yeah. See, I've never had a golfing lesson in my life. So I've taken to the game like how people instinctively take to any game. You tell a child, okay, let's play table tennis. He'll pick up a bat, he might hold it wrong, but if he gets the hang of getting that ball off the bat over the net, that's how he's going to continue playing. So I'm sure Ranjit also must have laughed when he first saw my swing. Because it is some friends joke and say, look, if you go for a golf lesson, that very instructor will go crazy.
Well, you're doing something right.
Well, the only thing right actually in golf is getting that club to hit the ball.
And you sustained it. You've not injured yourself. You've
No.
been able to play every day like a young man. And so you're doing something right. So they can't laugh anymore.
I've been lucky, I think.
No, it's not all luck. I think it's some technique, it has to be something.
But my golf swing is
Yeah.
you spread your legs. And the driver is the longest club in your bag. Because you hit the ball furthest with your driver. Now the textbook says stand at the right distance, position the ball just inside your instep, don't move your head, take club back, and there are so many photographs and videos. It should go and your arm should be stretched such that the club actually is parallel to the ground, but above your head. And then you rotate and you get the maximum power. If you ask Ranjit or ask anybody else, they say, we really don't know how this Dan even hits the ball. Because my body goes back, sometimes my leg goes up, but somehow that club hits that ball.
Okay, well,
So
you can call
I
it.
do not have a classical swing, and in fact, everybody laughs when they first play with me. How does
Call it
this
the
guy
dance
hit
swing. So, in conclusion, I have one last question. You are 68 right now.
I've completed 68 last month.
Okay. So, what is the best part of this stage of life, and what are you looking forward to, and what would you like to tell the audience about?
Be happy. Try and be debt free. Trust me, when we paid off our first mortgage, I felt as if a block of cement had been taken off my shoulders.
This is in the UK or here? Yeah. Okay.
So try and be debt free, be happy, look after yourself, try and help those less fortunate than yourself. That's it. And you'll be a happy, contented, stress-free person. And because of all these, you'll be a healthier person.
Yes. So I think, we've learned a lot about, just your mindset. Fitness is one thing that is also there, stamina and fitness that you have. But like I said, I have also put mind before nutrition and movement, because it all stems from there.
True.
So I think thank you so much for your time and telling the audience all about your journey, and see you on the course.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope your audience doesn't get bored with all this prattle that I've been doing.
No, I think it's very useful. It's been very useful, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.